Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin futures have been trading sideways in this range for an extended period now, and it makes me a little concerned. It's going on a little bit longer than I would like to see, but markets do what they do. We've had really high volume again this week. It's the fifth time in this sideways range that really high volume's been drawn out. It's been a little confusing because it's not always been showing the same intent. They've been mostly been on up bars. This one had a very narrow spread. That was likely supply. That's why it's confusing. These were likely buying, the first two. This was likely selling into this one here. You can see the market's moved down in response. This was likely buying, and this was likely buying. This is buying up because there's no selling pressure in the market, or not enough selling pressure. There's strength building in here. I keep saying it every week. But until we see a breakout one way or the other, maybe we should, hold on. We'll have a look in this range. Okay, this is that whole trading range, but in daily bars. So we're looking inside the weekly bars at the daily bars. And you can see the volume spikes. Here was that early one in here. Here was the next one. Here. Here. And here. That's the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see volume, it pushed up here. Prices come back on high volume, but it hasn't broken below that bar's low. The next bar up. This was likely a small period of buying. And you've had a little shakeout in response. That's this here, multi-bar shakeout. Not much supply was drawn out, so selling pressure was low. You've had a test of the shakeout here. Once again, supply is low or relatively low. And in response, prices moved higher. Well, this bar was selling, this bar here, that's pushed price lower. Next bar has increased volume, spreads narrowed. Next bar was up. These two bars here were definitely buying. The response to the buying saw the market continue higher on high volume. And here's probably the highs of this range here. Price wasn't able to continue higher. In fact, there was no intent to move higher. You can see volume was low here. So this was buying, but more likely accumulation. There was no intent to continue higher from that level. And then price just moved sideways in response on relatively low volumes. Price broke down here below the lows of that range. That's on that volume there. This is that higher volume. This was likely selling in here. You've had those two bars there, narrow spread up bars on increasing volumes here. This was likely selling pressure, and you can see price gapped lower here, albeit on low volume. So I expect this was a deliberate action. Price attempted to move higher here, but it was given no support. You can see this bar here had really low volume. There was no intent to move higher. There was no wish by the professionals to move this market higher. In fact, they preferred it lower. You can see the next bar after this, no demand bar, price sliced lower, well below that bar's lows, and then price moved down. With intent, it was pushed down. You can see this was a little shakeout bar here. It did draw out some supply. Now the next high volume came in here. It was a little bit of a shakeout there, no supply, a little bit of an up bar on increased volume. Looks like selling, but it's not, because price moved higher in response and then drifted lower. So that's a buy the offer bar. These two bars were likely buying. You've had a test for supply in the bottom of this bar there and a response higher. That was on very high volume. So this was a buying bar too. If you look back, you've had a buying bar, a buy the offer bar, a buying bar, a test for supply, a no demand up bar, another test for supply. Prices pushed higher, but with no demand. Have a look at the demand on that. It's just getting lower and lower through here. Price comes down again, shakeout bar, below the previous lows. This is a mini buy the offer bar. It's a nothing bar. There was some buying in it by the looks because the next bar was up, moved up, down, and then up, but with no demand. The market, there's no intent for the market to move higher. And then this current bit was buying up. You can see there's a little test for supply there. Then the volumes increased for 3 bars. 1, 2, 3. This was an absorption bar, a push higher, and then the market has bought its way up like this. This was a test for supply, but there was some supply being drawn out, and the last bar for the week, so yesterday, Friday, was a test for supply, and supply was low. So you can see this was likely buying, this was likely buying. There was some selling in here, but I think that was just to bring the market down for more accumulation. This was likely buying. There's a shakeout bar here, a single one, and this was likely buying. So it's definitely stronger than weaker, but until you see a definite response, you have to be suspicious. You have to be suspicious. It's okay to get involved in an accumulation, but you can get caught in there. If sentiment changes for some reason, you'll often see the accumulated stock dumped. If sentiment changes, it dumps and the whole lot goes, and they don't muck around. They sell the lot as quick as possible, and price just moves lower with serious intent. But if price breaks out above this level, you're also going to have a level here. If price breaks out above these levels, this buying in across here will support the market and see it push higher, probably with some intent. If you're in, you want to be holding, but watch this 18,000, 16,000 level. If they got taken out on an increase in volume, I'd be concerned. If there's a break above 25,000 with supporting volume, I'd be expecting this market is going to break out. Now, it may come back and test and then go again, just exactly how the market plays it. Seeing this has been an ongoing and sustained sideways period, you may find that price does break out, then comes back, tests the breakout for strength, and then goes. But I'd be really watching these two levels, the 18,000, 16,000 to the downside and the 25,000 to the upside. They're going to be significant when this market moves. It will eventually, there's no doubt about it.